So we now turn our attention to the next race, and it is race 13 out of 24 here on Heatstay. Senior Rotax, Groups A versus C. Let's have a look at the starting order, shall we? Sean Butcher, Heat 1 winner, will start once again at pole position, and alongside him will be Germany's Linus Hensen. Andrea Petrovic and Nick Cuppins, row 2. Flint Shearing and Mark Kimber, row 3. Lachlan Robinson and Tobias Poschek round out the top 8 ahead of Benedek Vida and Ehad Turka, who complete the top 10. Zabolx Lantos and Fabio Giliberti round out the top 6 rows ahead of Zeno Kovac and Francis Chloe-Canard. Giuseppe Forenzi and Christian de Klein, row 8. Ben de Zabo and Luca Costa, row 9. Sasha Klavedecha and Arvid Rosen complete the top 20. Julien Baudet Golarov, Benoit Tordema, Andrea Giudice, Simon Gaspard, Oscar Christensen, Scott Westhovens, Max Stemmerdink, Ben Teboa, Timothée Kiarij, Daniel Mualem, and Anthony Bilou round out the 31 strong grid. So plenty of action still to come. We're over the halfway point. We still have plenty more to go later on today, so you don't want to miss one bit of the action here at the Euro Trophy, because the fire has yet to be died down. It looks like the petrol is going to be squirted onto it and make the flames even higher than previously thought of earlier on this very weekend. So drivers getting themselves ready and steeled ahead of what is going to happen today. And now these drivers will be pushing like crazy. So into the tram lines we go. Butcher and Henson on the front row. Revs rise. Are we ready? Are we steady? Lights out. We're off and racing. And Henson trying to go around the outside of Butcher, but can't get through, but manages to stay in second position. Looks like Petrovic has gotten through into third place, just by my initial viewpoint here. Lachlan Robinson dropping towards the bottom part of the top 10 behind Fabio Giliberti. But the drivers pushing like crazy, and some are being forced wide. One went very wide. That was a KMS Europe car. That could have been maybe the likes of maybe even Benedek Vida, but who knows? These drivers are going to be on an absolute mission to get themselves into the top 30 for tomorrow's finals. Top 30 after intermediate classification will qualify, but Butcher leads from Henson. Cuppins down to 4th behind Andrei Petrovic. Tobias Poschek, Mark Kimber, Ehad Turka, Flint Shearing. Lachlan Robinson now gets past Giliberti for 9th place and will start closing on Flint Shearing, who left a bit of a gap earlier on, obviously with a massive drama for the young Dutch driver, as there are more positional changes happening. And that is Nick Cuppins being pressurised by the likes of Mark Kimber and also Tobias Poschek. And Ehad Turka looking to assert his way going through, and he gets past on Flint Shearing. So does Lachlan Robinson. Shearing again loses possibly another 2 positions as Decline and Canard in there in the mix as well. Flint Shearing again losing a handful of positions. And this is where things get rather interesting. 8 minutes and 15 seconds still to go. Sean Butcher leading the way by just over a tenth of a second, but Linus Hensen goes 9/100ths quicker than the Australian based out of London, running under the UK flag. But Butcher keeping the pace up and trying to stretch a gap over the likes of Petrovic. Poschek in 4th, Kimber, Cuppins, Turka and Robinson. And Robinson now up into P7, past the sole Turkish entrant this weekend. Turka, based out of Istanbul, ran under the same awning as Robinson last year, but switched to Buvin Power for 2021. We've had a few changes up and down the order. Daniel Mualem down in 31st, but still running. Sasha Klavedecha down in 23rd position. Chloe Canal just towards the bottom of the top 15 ahead of Szabolcs Lantos from Hungary. And at the moment, the top 8 drivers covered by just over 2.8 seconds as the battle for third and fourth between Petrovic, Pošić, and now Kimber coming through into the mix. This is third, fourth, and fifth as Robinson looking to get his way quickly past Nick Cuppins. Mark Kimber has set the fastest lap of anybody, 50.917 from the Brit. And this is now becoming more of a cat and mouse game than maybe a lot of people might have thought, myself included. And Mark Kimber actually took the Grand Finals title as a junior back in 2016. He's also taken British, European and world titles in his own right. So you never count somebody like Mark Kimber out, but he's got past Andrej Petrovic and is now starting to hunt down Tobias Pošić, as it looks like Lachlan Robinson and Erhard Turker have both got past Nick Cuppins going through T2. So nice bit of work from the pair of them. And now we've got just over 6 minutes to go of a 10-minute race plus an additional lap. Now, Robinson, I noticed through free practice, even was in the top 5. Really, really happy with the kart. But now, obviously, after what happened in qualifying, he's now fighting back. He's now showing what he's capable of. And we saw that last season. Now we've got a different driver on our hands because now everyone knows who he is and what he's capable of. Erhard Turker, also very credible in his own right. He's had his fair shares of peaks and troughs in his racing career, as Lachlan Robinson pretty much nigh on sideways going through. It was a controlled drift there by the 326 from the UAE. And now they are closing in on Andrej Petrovic just up ahead. And there is Petrovic running on the Lion chassis. So Petrovic under fire. The warning shots have been fired across the bow from those behind. And now the Wolf Pack is closing and looking to swallow up its prey very shortly, and it could be a matter of time before that happens. But it looks like just up ahead there has been a change between Kimber and Pošić. Kimber now up into third. Robinson comes out of the final corner into the slipstream of Andrej Petrovic. Will look to assert himself. Slingshots it upside the inside of turn 1. Nice and cleanly from the 326. And now he can start pushing. 4 minutes 40 to go. Henson keeping Sean Butcher rather honest. And Mark Kimber is running in the 50.8s. Well, I'm just looking at his lap times, 50.9s. Henson slightly quicker on that last lap, but the gap between Henson and Kimber, 9/10 of a second. 4 minutes and 20 still to go, plus an additional lap. And now I've just noticed that Lachlan Robinson has sprinted away off into the distance, away from Erhard Turker. He's now got another battle to find. And it looks like the two in front could be saying, well, I hope trouble doesn't find us. Well, trouble's looking for you, I'm afraid. And now they come across the line. Butcher and Henson, 2.5 of a second adrift. There have been some improvements. Unfortunately, we've got two drivers about to be confirmed as retirements. Giuseppe Forenzi and Zeno Kovac from Italy and Hungary, respectively. Andrej Petrovic falling further down the order behind Hungary's Benedek Vida. Ben Teboa behind Chloe Kennard. Oscar Christensen behind Benoit Tordema. You've also got Scott Westhovens up into 18th now behind Sasha Klavadetscha, who had a bit of a dismal first heat earlier on. 3.5 minutes to go. Top 4 starting to close in. Robinson is also closing in, and he's about 7/10 off of Tobias Pošić from KSB. Now the fight really starts intensifying. Butcher has already got one win to his credit, so has Callum Bradshaw. And now the rest of them are trying to get their oars stuck. They're trying to throw their 2 cents into the party. Henson showed his credence and shows that he is worthy of an opportunity of a title push here in Europe after securing the senior Rotax title. And there's been more dramas. Oh, and that's the 320 off there. And that's Andrej Petrovic, of all people. And Christian de Klein was the other driver. And they were battling over 9th and 10th. That's completely changed the complexity of the race for those two drivers. And that will push them out of the top 15. And you can see there, everyone is just literally... They say that 4 into 1 doesn't go. Well, look at the 7 of them. They're battling away like petulant children at the playground. I mean, come on, this is absolutely rambunctious, but they are getting away with it. I mean, they are literally millimetres apart, and they are pushing like crazy. Now the pace has increased between the top 5. Robinson just put in his second fastest lap of the race. Butcher's improved personal best. Linus Henson improved personal best. Mark Kimber, fastest lap of anybody. Tobias Poschek also improves. So there are just under 2 minutes to go. I think things could be even closer at the dying moments of this race, because we're going into the last 1 minute and 45 plus an additional lap. Sean Butcher has not put a foot wrong this weekend, as in today. Tomorrow could be another story, but Linus Henson still doing his level best to keep on terms with the Brit. And Henson, in his heat, was 4th last time behind Mark Kimber. This time he's actually ahead of Mark Kimber for a change. But still, there is plenty to be decided. Linus Henson was not that much quicker, or not that much slower than Linus Henson. But here comes Mark Kimber. And Kimber was well over a tenth and a bit quicker than both Henson and Butcher on that particular occasion. Robinson looks to be staying in 5th and has got a comfortable gap between himself and also Erhard Turker. So another solid top 5 finish from the Dubai-based driver. But we have this and another lap to go after they cross the stripe next time. So we will be on the 12th and penultimate lap of the race. It's now the race to the checkered flag. Who is going to get there first? Well, at the moment, it is advantage Sean Butcher as Henson gets a bit deep on the brakes going into turn 2. He actually carries a bit more momentum, as does Mark Kimber. So Butcher just has to keep looking forward, not look back. Just have the blinkers on and just concentrate on your own race. He knows he's leading. Henson now is the hunter, as is Mark Kimber. It's one thing to catch somebody, but it's another thing altogether to pass them when an opportunity presents itself. This time, now the final lap. The top 3, nigh on line astern. They were under 0.6 of a second apart last time. Make that possibly less than half a second as they come out of the final corner. Here we go, final lap. Butcher goes defensive on Henson. It was 3.6 tenths between the top 3. Henson senses an opportunity. Kimber waiting in the reeds like Shere Khan at the Jungle Book to see if he can get his way past. And he's not that far away from the pair of them. Into the next left-hand hairpin. Kimber goes to the outside to get the switchback on Linus Henson. That was textbook from Kimber. But Sean Butcher has been allowed to get away. Lachlan Robinson isn't too far away from Tobias Poschek, but corners are fast running out. Sean Butcher has kept his nose in front of the opposition, and he's made it work despite all that pressure. There's the look from Sean Butcher to see where Mark Kimber is, and now it's pushed the throttle to the floor, and Sean Butcher makes it 2 for 2 here in senior Rotax at Adria by 0.3 of a second ahead of Mark Kimber, who pipped Linus Henson with the most clinical of switchbacks through the turn 5 left-hand hairpin on Linus Henson. So Sean Butcher takes the victory. Mark Kimber takes second. Linus Henson takes third. Tobias Poschek started 8th, finished 4th. Lachlan Robinson started 7th, finished in 5th. Erhard Turker had a good run, started 10th, finished in P6, ahead of Zalborg Slantos from Hungary. Flint Schuring in 8th, ahead of Nick Cuppens. Bendes Zabo from Hungary. Andrea Giudice and Fabio Giliberti make it 2 Italians in the top 12, ahead of Arvid Rosen from Sweden. Max Stemerdink, Julian Bode Kolahoff, Zeno Kovac, Scott Westhovens, Christian de Klein, Andrei Petrovic. After the 2 came together early on in the race, they end up 18th and 19th respectively, ahead of Simon Gaspard from France, Benedek Vida, Sasha Claverecha, Luca Costa, Timoteus Kiads, then Benoit Tordema, Oscar Christensen, Bente Boa, Anthony Bilou and Daniel Mualem, with unfortunately retirements on lap 7 from Chloe Canard and lap 5 from Giuseppe Forenzi.